right, we're here with Bebe Rexha. Give it up one more time. Love it.
Better cross my legs too.
Yeah, we'll just do it
I'm
together.
gonna mirror you.
Yeah, we're both wearing black. We're both matching
There you go,
today.
New Yorker style.
Exactly. I know it's a little rainy day here in New York, but we're so happy to have you on this lovely Monday.
Thank you.
Loving your new music. Let's talk about this Nicki Minaj single that you have, No Broken Hearts. It's awesome. I understand it's kind of from a personal experience, right? For you.
Yes, I had gotten like ghosted 3 times, and by an ex-boyfriend and a manager and a best friend, literally all in 1 week. And I think the difference with this song, and as I'm getting like, I'm growing up, instead of like becoming like bitter or like, having a tantrum, I was like, I'm not gonna let this get me down. I'm gonna turn it into something more positive, So I was in the studio and I was drinking a bit and I was crying like my eyes out and I was like, there's no broken hearts allowed in the studio right now, I'm not gonna allow this situation to hurt me anymore. And I told the producer, it was like, let's do this hip hop style. I'm like, I said, just put 3 tracks into the computer and I'm gonna freestyle. So the first track started. And I was like, okay, I wasn't inspired. Then the second track came on, and then I started just freestyling basically the whole song. We actually kept a lot of those vocals. They're not perfect. They were very, some of the stuff was very pitchy, and I was like, you know what, I don't care. I was like, we'll fix it. We'll tune some of the parts of it. I'm like, I want to keep a lot of these vocals because it's about how I really felt, and I feel like that's what's missing with music, is like some real, stuff that you can really feel. So that song was done in 3 takes.
Wow, that's incredible. So some of the original vocals are on there,
like
just
the
very raw.
oh baby, I know that you've been hurting. So I kept that because I was like, I was literally still in tears when I sang that, and I felt like that was very important to me to keep that. I work. There's a lot of songwriters and artists who work in structure, and I don't like structure. I work with Sia one time, and she's anti-structure. She's all over the place, and she just does what she feels. And I said, you know what? Now I don't feel so alone. I'm gonna write the songs the way that I love to do it, which is feeling.
That's great. So it's therapeutic for you, really?
Yeah, it is. It's really therapy for me. It's like the only place that I can go where I forget everything. I've tried to taking vacations to the Caribbean, and it doesn't work.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how Nicki Minaj got involved with the song.
Well, we did Hey Mama together, and a lot of people don't know that. I went into the studio with David Guetta, and he had this really amazing track with verses on it, and he was like, I need a really cool hook. So I sat down with this guy, Sean Douglas, and I was kind of joking around. It was like a joke song, and I was like, let's do something like, beats in the drum like dum diddy day, and then we put lyrics to it, and they end up keeping my vocals on that. And I met Nicki at the iHeart Awards in Vegas a couple of years back, and then I did No Broken Hearts, and I knew immediately that I wanted her on it. I was like, we have to redo that collab again and make it girl empowerment. And and I hit her up, and she just jumped on it. We shot the video together, and it was just amazing because I'm from New York City. I was born in Brooklyn, and I was raised in Staten Island though. There's one woo. There's one woo from Staten Island. It's woo. Brooklyn, it's woo. And Staten Island's always whoop. Which I'm going there today. I'm excited to see my family. But I looked up to Nicki, and I always felt I was kind of, I actually had somebody once tell me that I would only be a girl from Staten Island and nothing more, and that I would never get across the ferry. I would never get across the ferry. I should just sit in Staten Island, and that my dreams would never come true. So to me, it's I remember sitting at home and watching all the Nicki mixtapes come out and watching her career grow, and from the Piggy song, and Little Miss Piggy, and you know what I'm talking about? So to be able to do a song with Nicki was just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of a moment for me,
And it's happening again with a new song, so
yeah,
that's pretty great.
For it to be featured on my song this time is kind of wow, it's kind of very humbling, and I'm very thankful for everything,
Yeah, totally. You talked a little bit about, what you want to say with your music, wanting to say something with your music. Can you talk a little bit about that and what this upcoming album is going to say about you, about just female empowerment, anything in general?
I think, like especially with the song that I did with G-Eazy, Me, Myself, and I find that when I write songs that are really honest to myself and like what I'm going through, it tends to really connect to people more than just writing a song about, I don't know, just partying for no reason. Even with like No Broken Hearts, it's a party song, but it comes from actually a really dark and deeper place, and it's about not letting anything kind of get you down. But I think with this album, it's really honest and it's real, and I think I'm just trying. I'm putting a lot of stuff in there that people don't want to say, and I have a song. You can't curse on here, can you?
I think we can. We've done it before.
Oh well, I have a. Well, like one of the songs on the album is called FFF, and it stands for Fuck Fake Friends, and it's literally like an anthem, and it's. I'm sorry, I cursed.
It's totally the web. It's fine.
So, but like the whole album is based off of real stuff. It's based off of breakup, and a lot of the lyrics are very just like stuff I write in my diary and the stuff I tell my friends. So I think keeping things real and deep sometimes is the best way to go, because I feel like people can sense. I think people just want real and they want to feel like connected to you. So I can't go and write a song that doesn't mean anything to me, and like just something that's airy,
Right. I mean, who hasn't been ghosted on how many times, right? Like that's what inspired this latest song. So I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the collaborations you've done in the past. I mean, one of the biggest hits that you've written for other people was Monster, Rihanna's song. Mm-hmm. Kind of take us back to that time and what that song meant to you, and giving it to someone else to perform and making it a huge hit and hearing that for the first time.
Well, I had originally written that song actually on like 115th Street in Harlem. And I remember I would wake up every morning and I would, from Staten Island, I would take the train. I would get off the train, get on the ferry, get on the 4 train, or 4 or 5 train, then transfer to the 6, then walk to the studio. And this was like in the snow every day. And I went into the studio one day with my friends. There was 4 of us. And I would like read quotes and stuff like that just to feel like inspired. And there was this one quote that said, I was 21 and I'm like just trying to find myself. And there was a quote that said, "We stop looking for monsters under our beds when we realize that they're inside of us." So to me, that hit me really hard, because I'm like, wow, sometimes, the scary thing, like, sometimes we have to work on ourselves and focus on ourselves, and I think we forget that sometimes. And a lot of the scariest things in the world are not on the outside, it's what's inside of us, and we tend to focus on the wrong things. So I brought it to the studio, and we write this song called Monster Under My Bed. And then I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, I know this song is gonna get me a record deal, because at the time I had just gotten dropped from Island Def Jam with L.A. Reid and like Pete Wentz Decadence Records. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. It's a new vibe, it's like alternative feeling, and it's cool. And I remember bringing it to the record labels, and there was absolutely no like response from any of the CEOs who have signed like major artists. They were like, there was no response to the Monster, and I think it was just a little weird at the time, and it was a little different than I think that was very like different, and I studied classical music for a while, so I don't think they were used to hearing that vibe in a song, and then Eminem heard it, and it changed my life. I remember trying to get a record deal. I had $200 in my account, and my father was like, "Go back to school, or I don't know, or get a job, because I can't have you sit in this basement trying to be an artist or a songwriter, And I think for a lot of people, seeing is believing, but for me, believing is seeing. So I think that I had to kind of keep on going, and that song was the catalyst to a lot of things that, have been happening currently or in my career, and it opened so many doors for me.
Absolutely.
I talk so much about it. I'm sorry. It's just such an important story for me, and when I think about it,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because I feel like that started you off on a huge career path. I mean, you're already writing. You've collaborated with Pitbull, David Guetta, Nicki Minaj. Is there someone that you would love to collaborate with that you haven't done yet?
I'm like working on this right now, and I actually put it in the universe, and like I keep putting it in the universe. And like I want it to happen so bad, but you know, I've been working on some amazing stuff, and I really, really want to work with Kanye, and I just feel like he's so incredible. I like the fact that he just takes risks. You know what I mean? And people could hate it or love it, but the thing that I love about him is he's unapologetic, and I know he gets like, you know, I don't care about his personal life or like what he does. I'm a fan of his music, and I'm a fan of how, you know, real he is, and to me it's like I've looked up to him ever since I was a little girl, and that's what I think makes my music a little bit different and more interesting. Is I never said never to any type of music, you know, may it be hip hop or opera, which I studied for like a year because I got really like obsessed with it. It was weird. And the trumpet for like 7 years. I had like a lot of weird moments, but I would love to circle back. I'd love to work with Kanye. I think that would be like a really big moment for me.
Well, it's out in the universe again, so
yeah,
put it out there.
On the
Come on,
universe.
Kanye.
If it happens, we were all here when
yes,
I said it.
Kanye, if you're listening,
well,
right
you
now.
know, I really believe in that the energy of saying things, because I remember watching Oprah back in the day, and I know this is a side subject, but Oprah said she would put a check on her mirror every morning, and she would sign it to herself, and it said $50 million to Oprah. And I said, okay, I'm going to try this. This was before I had written any big records or anything, gotten a publishing deal, anything. And I took a big like circular thing, and I wrote on it, I said, I will write an international smash. And this was literally 2 to 3 months before I wrote The Monster. And it was on my door. I'd look at it every morning, every single morning. And I'm telling you, after, like, I would never believe that I would write a song that was, I don't know, 4 times platinum. So like that really works.
Writing it down.
Writing it down. I think writing it down and like looking at it, and just because a lot of times it's just really just believing in it, in your soul, in your gut, and really just believing in yourself, because honestly it's all really possible. The thing is, like, the energies, if you get bad energies, it's just all about good energy, and I think that's all the world is today, you know.
Yeah, take that person from Staten Island that told you you'd never make it, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was actually, it was actually one of my old managers. It was like really like, that will stick with me forever.
But maybe it.
But you know what? I am just a girl from Staten Island.
Yeah, always. You're going back there today.
You're right. I am just a girl from Staten Island, and here I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're talking about your album, your tour. You're on tour right now too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm on tour with Ellie Goulding, which is so awesome. She's so talented, and like I love being on that tour because I just feel like, you know, like she started out in such like I don't know, like the whole, you know, when The Weeknd came out and she did all those like blog tracks and like the SoundCloud stuff, and like she wrote her own stuff, and I think people really like, I don't think the public really knows like how certain things work and how certain artists work, and I think there's groups of artists who, like, you know, write their own stuff, and they're really grinding, and they're in the studio, and they're really in the creative process, and that's really important to me. To me, it's not just about being famous and like an A&R throwing me a song or emailing me a song and being like, oh my God, I think this could be a #1 hit. Let me put this out and let me just go to the gym all day and like learn dance routines, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's entertainment. But I think the thing that I love about Ellie is that she puts on a show, but she's also so involved in her music, which I like, you know, I do that. So I strive to be very involved all the time. So
yeah, I mean, you're a songwriter first. I mean, we were backstage and you were doing Snapchats. I mean, you're involved in all aspects, it seems, right?
Yeah, I think I just like, I love what I do, and I just love music, and I love being around people, and I think that's like, you know, I don't know.
Take me back to a mini Bebe when you were 4 years old, starting out singing, right? That's how old you were.
Yeah. I feel bad because I have a video that my mom put out, and It's my brother's birthday, and we're 4 years apart, and it was his birthday, and he had gotten one of those little, remember those, like, the cars that you, like, the little, not the Hummer car, but like back in the day, I don't think we had the Hummer ones. Those are like the new nice ones, but like the, you know, like the cheap cars that you have to like charge the battery for like 3 days, and it runs for like an hour. So I remember like their video, my mom was like trying to like video, like, you know, with the camcorder trying to get him, and I like jump in front of the car and be like, watch me sing, my turn. And I felt bad, and like the only video my brother has of him and his birthday is like me trying to like sing and like show off. And I think I was like 5 and he was like 2 or something. But
I mean, I love music. I love music from when I was a little kid, and I would always say, all the girls in school, all the boys in school would be like, I want to be a singer, or I want to sing, and I'm going to do this. I'm like, no, I'm actually going to really be a singer. Like, that's what I'm really going to do. And people are like, okay, yeah, so what are you really going to do, So, but, yeah.
And it happened. So there you go. We've seen you as a brunette, darker hair. Now you're blonde.
Blonde, yeah.
How are you? You look gorgeous. How are you liking the blonde look?
Do you like the blonde hair, or you like brunette?
Yeah.
Everybody always asks me about my hair color because some people get mad. They're like, "How could you?" Like, I don't know. I wanted a change. I feel like the reason why I actually dyed my hair blonde was, and it was more of like I don't know, like a mental thing for me. It's like I feel like I'm very anything that scares me, I want to do it. And that's what I like always done all my life. Anything that freaks me out or like makes me uncomfortable, I do it. Like I absolutely hate flying. I've had like terrible flying experiences, like terrible ones. Like I don't even want to get into them, but I still fly and it freaks me out and I have like, trauma from when I was a kid, but I'll still do it. But I think with my hair, it's like all my life I wanted to dye my hair color, or I wanted to wear, crazy fun clothes, and my family was very like conservative, and like my mom would be like, no, like you're dressing this way, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna dye my hair blonde because I feel like I want to just do it. I want to do something fun, and why not? You only live once,
Yeah, I agree. What's something that you haven't done that you'd like to do, or something that scares you, maybe?
I'm so scared of. My friends all want to go. What do you call it? Skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving.
That's something that's been like taking me time, like a while to like do. I want to do that. I'm really scared of that. Really, really scared of that.
I haven't done it.
Or when they put the big when you go under the water like hundreds of feet, like when they put the what do you call that? Like
scuba diving,
like deep, like deep scuba diving, but they have like you like on a like that freaks me out.
That would freak me out too.
Yeah, anything like in tight places, I feel like.
So looking ahead, when can we expect this album coming out?
I'm actually like finishing. It's so cool because since like I put the new song out and the G-Eazy song, it's been fun because now it's been fun going into the studio because now I feel like I've been getting the respect from like other artists, and I feel like other artists who have had a lot of success, and I get to go in the studio and collaborate with these people. Like on Wednesday I'm going and collaborating with I'm gonna do a session with Ty Dolla $ign, which is fun. So like I think this album I'm finishing it in the next couple of weeks, so in the summer. So I just need to like pick the songs because there's like 20 something songs, and now I'm like just doing collaborations and mixing and mastering, which is like the least funnest part of it. It's like mastering all and mixing all the sounds. But it's definitely coming out this summer, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just excited. So.
Didn't you do something with Nick Jonas for his upcoming album? Did you write a song for him?
I actually wrote a song for myself with Max Martin and his team, and it was called Under You. And I was like, I don't want this song. It's too like. It was funny because now my album is like so much like more like. I don't know what the word would be. At the time, I was like, this is too sexy, this song. Like, the lyric is like, there's no getting over, not getting under you. And at the time, I was like, I can't put that out. Like, my grandmother's going to hear this. It's like, she's going to be like, what's, you know what I mean? Like, or my mom is going to be like, what does the world come to? And now I'm like, now one of the songs on my album is like naughty. It's like it's like I want to get naughty with you, like pour a drink on me, and like it's really bad. And like oh my gosh, I'm like no, but I wrote this song called Under You, and Nick ended up coming in, and it fit perfectly for his album and what he was going for and the vibe. And he shot like this sexy video to it, and he came in and like changed some of the lyrics up and melodies, and yeah. So I think, and I'm such a big fan of his new single too. So I'm a big fan of Nick Jonas in general too. I think everything he's doing aesthetically and music-wise is really dope.
Yeah. I mean, so much great music out there right now.
So much.
So when you go back to Staten Island later today, what would you do? What do you do? What's the first thing you do?
So if I come to New York City, it doesn't matter how busy my schedule is, I have to sleep at my parents' house one night. Or they will take it like offensively, like they'll be like, how dare you come across country and not sleep at our house? And my mom refuses to believe that I live in LA now. She's like, you live in this house with me and your father, and you live here. You never moved. You only got that apartment so that you could focus on your career, but you're coming back, right? And I'm like, yes, I'm coming back. So I live in Staten Island if my mother asks. But when I go when I go home, you know, you think that it'd just be me, my dad, my mom, my brother. No, it's like my mom tells the whole family, and my cousin Shady will be there, and my uncle will be there, and all my uncles, and it's gonna be crazy. But we go to this Italian restaurant that's very close to us, and we eat like crazy. We order chicken parmesan, pasta, cannoli, all that stuff.
Can we come?
Yeah, actually, I think, I'm not even joking, there's so much people coming. I think we actually like rented the whole restaurant out tonight because it's like so many people, so you're more than welcome.
Well, we look forward to seeing your new album, but before we go, we'd like to get some questions from the crowd here.
Question from an online viewer. So Jake would like to know, what is the creative process like for you when shooting a music video?
Oh, wow, it's different every time. Well, what happens sometimes is when I write the song, the idea comes immediately. It's really interesting. With No Broken Hearts, I had this like image of bringing back the 2000s. I was like, I want to bring back the 2000s, you know, because I've gotten recently so obsessed with like the whole Aaliyah vibe, and like everything she did, and like, you know, I was watching videos of like Busta Rhymes, and like old Britney, and then TLC, and that had come to me, and I was like, okay, we have to do, like with the No Broken Hearts video, I was like, we have to do like a throwback, you know, like low camera angles, and but I'm actually very heavily involved with the process of the treatment, because I feel like I have to really like, I try not to, I want to write it, but sometimes I'm like, I gotta let the director like, you know, feel involved. But with the No Broken Hearts music video, me and Dave Myers, sorry, who did Missy Elliott and did all the old Britney stuff, sat down and we just kind of collaborated over coffee.
That's cool. And then and the result is what we see.
Yeah, so. Which is amazing. Yeah.
Oh, hi, baby.
Hi.
Thank you for shouting out Staten Island. That's where I live too.
Oh,
so
girl, what part?
Staten Island.
What part?
Mariners Harbor.
Okay, cool. Well, my family lives in, can I say? Grasmere, yeah. Grasmere.
Yay! Staten Island.
Go to my parents' house. Stay out to my parents' house.
I'm not going to your parents' house. I wanted to know, out of all the songs that you've written, which one are you most proudest of?
Out of all the songs that I've written, which one am I the most proudest of? I wrote this song, and I think I'm definitely like in a new phase in my life. But I wrote this song called "I'm Gonna Show You Crazy," and the reason why I'm really proud of that song was because when I wrote it, I really didn't write it to appease anybody. It was actually out of pure therapy, or because I really loved it, and I didn't really care if people liked that song. Is that weird? I know that sounds kind of like, you know, kind of bitchy or whatnot, but I just wrote it because I really wanted to. I really just wanted therapy, and then when I put it out, I was like, okay, 100,000 plays on Spotify or whatever it may be, or on the internet, or like 10 people could buy it, and I'll be happy. And then it ended up having like 50-something million streams, and every time I go to a show, there's always that one kid who's like, you saved my life. Like, literally, or there was a veteran last time who was like, I have post-traumatic stress disorder, and you really made me feel like I'm not alone. And that to me is one of I'm very proud of that song. Because I want people to like not feel like they're alone in anything they're kind of going through. And I think with mental health issues and stuff like that, I feel like nobody really talks about that. So I feel like that's important, and I love that song.
What great impact. That's amazing.
Hey, Bebe. I saw you at Warped Tour last year,
Yay.
and it was really, really great.
Here?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was just hooked as a fan since then. I was wondering what your advice to upcoming songwriters would be on developing the craft and pitching songs to other artists and producers.
My advice would be just not following the rules. I mean, that's the way that I do it. I just think not following the rules and following your intuition and your gut, and really perfecting your craft. I mean, I remember there was days where I'd sit in my parents' basement for 16 hours, like, and I saved up money. I worked as like a perfume girl, and I saved up all my money, and I bought like I don't know if you have like on your computer you could put software on there like Logic or Pro Tools, and then I bought a microphone, and I would kind of just sit there and like write songs, get beats from producers, and like collaborating, and just writing songs and really perfecting my craft. And the thing about the thing about shopping songs, I don't really know because I've never really written a song to be like, hey, I want to give this to Eminem, or hey, I want to give this to Britney or Selena Gomez. Like, I just wrote a song that I loved, and it just, people loved it too. I don't know. I think if you really perfect your craft and you really love it, and that's all that matters. And when you, if you can get to a publisher or get signed to a publisher, they can help you shop it. But I feel like the main thing is just really perfecting your craft to the point where where nobody could do what you do. Does that kind of answer it? Hi.
So I love the tone of your voice. It's unlike anything that you hear on the radio, and every time I hear you, I just like turn it up way past acceptable.
Thank you.
But I wanted to know, who are some of your influences that you used to listen to when you were younger?
Some of my influences, I became slightly obsessed with Lauryn Hill growing up. Yeah, I just feel like what she said, like her, that thing, I think was a very, like, lyrically to me, that was incredible. Everything is Everything. That whole album, just the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she was one of my biggest inspiration and still is to this day. And then I look back at some, like the Cranberries, or like, like the style of her way she sang, the Zombies, and Bob Marley, because I just feel like the way he touched on like real life subjects, but made everything feel happy and kind of like okay, and Kanye. So that's just a couple that I can think of right now on top of my head. Tracy Chapman too, by the way. Yeah.
A wide range, definitely. A wide range.
Really wide range. I remember like I had moments. I remember one time when I listened to Stevie Wonder for like a year, like nonstop, like nothing else. Like it was really like OCD for a second, but it was like amazing.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for your questions, and let's hear it one more time.
Thank you.
Bebe. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.